what industries do you think will be most impacted by blockchain?
Well, I'm going to answer the one I think should be most impacted, but it's been hard to get traction. And as we, start our primary presidential debates later this month, I think voting should be impacted. Now, whether it will be or not is hard to tell, particularly in the US, where voting is done by the county clerk at a county by county level across 50 states. I think in some other countries where it's more centralized, probably has a quicker adoption. But to be able, there are people that want to have voter ID and there are people that want to make sure it's easy to vote. Blockchain lets you do that, lets you do both. Once you're determined who you are and are registered to vote with your biometrics on a smartphone, this becomes the voting machine. And it becomes a software as a service industry rather than a hardware industry. And you can create a paper audit trail where I know not that Dan voted for X or Y candidate, but that someone who was allowed to vote and was registered to vote, that's you, I just don't know it's you, voted for X or Y candidate. So your vote is auditable, but remains secret. I don't think either of the parties in the United States really have an interest in solutions. They mostly have an interest in complaining about the voting process, but blockchain could really move the needle there.
When I think about the voting idea, I'm also reminded that it's immutable, right?
It is immutable.
So if you can audit it easily, it's convenient. Why couldn't it be a transformational solution? So we can only hope so.
You think about convenience, the group that has the hardest time voting, and frankly isn't allowed to do so on a secret ballot, are members of the US military that are stationed overseas. These are people that are on the front line of democracy that we make it almost impossible for them to participate in democracy. And if they could vote on a smartphone in an immutable, auditable, secret way, it's just better. It's just better.